Yes guys, it's your boy Cam, CTB, Cam Talks Boxing, back with another video. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Chris Eubank Jr. gets knocked out by Liam Smith in round 4. Let's talk about it. Yes guys, let's go straight into it. You can see I'm still shocked. 2 days later, this past weekend was an absolute shocker. I wouldn't say a big upset, but I would say it is an upset due to how the fight finished and how it played out. Look, none of us, we knew it was a 50-50 fight. We knew Liam Smith was the well-seasoned fighter. He's fought at higher level, by better opposition. He's been a world champion, a legitimate world champion. But no one knew about that. He's not known as a powerful. He's not known as a power puncher. His KO ratio is probably around 50%, I believe. And he was moving up to 160. Chris Eubank Jr. naturally the bigger man, and he starched him. He caught him with a lovely few shots, backed him up in the corner, and it was a lovely uppercut actually. And Chris Eubank Jr. was all over the place. For me, I'm going to get onto it, but I believe there's reasons for, Eubank getting starched like that. You can't just lose your granite chin. You look at the likes of Canelo, Triple G, Froch. I know Froch was dropped by Groves, but solid chins, Marvin Hagler. I'm not comparing Eubank to them, but the chin he's had, he's never even been buckled. And I'll get onto that. But I just want to say congratulations to Liam Smith. Look, you proved me wrong. You proved a lot of people wrong, and it's like a resurgence now, isn't it, of his career? Like he's got the Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. He's got possibly he might have a shot. I wonder he could fight Janibek for the WBO middleweight title. He can go for one of the other champions. Whether he beats the other champions, I'm not sure. But then does that show the level at which Chris Eubank Jr. really is? And that's no disrespect to Liam Smith, because I feel like the best Liam Smith's part. I think Liam Smith's not in his prime anymore. I think the prime Liam Smith was probably 5 to 7 years ago at 154 pounds. So I'm not disrespecting Liam Smith at all. I'm just saying, where if a past his best Liam Smith, who's still a very good Liam Smith, but can beat Chris Eubank Jr., what level is he really at? And for me, that's where I want to focus on. But whilst I'm on Liam Smith, let's just talk about him for a few minutes. What fight will he take now? Personally, I think he'll take the rematch at Anfield. His dream would probably, he's a Scouser, so his dream would probably be to fight at Anfield, a massive stadium fight, another pay-per-view, and a huge paycheck. Will he be less motivated for that fight? Maybe, and perhaps Chris Eubank Jr. can do him in for that reason. But you've got to start asking yourself, wouldn't a rematch, would anything be different? Is Liam Smith just the better fighter? Is he more skilled? He's got the amateur record, amateur background, and he might well just have Chris Eubank Jr.'s number, unfortunately. So yeah, as I said, Liam Smith's got options. What a win, one of his best wins, I'd say. And let's move on to Chris Eubank Jr. Wow. The one thing that he had and everyone respected was his chin, his toughness. Don't get me wrong, he still got the toughness there. He got up, he wanted to continue. But wow. So I'm probably going to keep repeating the word wow, but I can't believe it. Like the granite chin, where was that? And for me, like, I'm gonna just say it straight. I think it's something to do with the weight cut and him trying to boil himself down to 157 pounds. Doesn't make sense now as to why his dad, Chris Eubank Sr., was so dead about his son making that weight. How dangerous it is, because it could have taken his toll on his body now. That weight cut, like, is that why his chin's gone? And I'm not saying he could, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being naive here. Look, Liam Smith said it himself, look, you can have a solid chin, but if you get hit right on the button, especially the amount of times he did, I know it was an uppercut, but he was getting caught flush with a flurry of punches, you got a chance of going down, your legs going. He got up, to me it seemed like he was there, but his legs weren't, so it doesn't matter how good your chin is, but that's the thing, his chin was that good where he could probably walk through punches, especially someone like Liam Smith's punches. He's walked through Groves' punches, George Groves, and he's a power puncher. He can punch. You saw how he dropped Froch, who has a granite chin himself. So he's fought at 168 as well, and he's taken punches. He's never even been buckled. So for me, I think it's something to do with that weight cut. He's probably boiling himself down to 160. He's probably tight at 160, let alone 157. And for me, regardless of the weight, just the bigger picture, I just think, look, he turned us. You know, a lot of us started to like Chris Eubank Jr. more after that Conor Benn situation. Before that, everyone was hoping Conor Benn would do him in. He's not like the most popular guy. He is very popular in boxing, but he's not like everyone's cup of tea. And since then, you know, his trash talk's improved. He's kind of like, everyone's kind of like started to like him a bit more. But before that, I was still thinking the same thing. Why is a middleweight calling out the likes of Kelbrook, Conor Benn, etc.? And for me, it makes sense. He knows he's not world level. He knows he's never really pursued a world title convincingly, other than the Super Series at 168. And for me, it answers the question: why isn't he going for the Charlos? Why isn't he going for Triple G? What, a 40-year-old Triple G? Why isn't he going for Yanni Beck? Why isn't he going for these belts at 160? And it shows why. He just wants some money. He wants the money fights. Liam Smith was a good money fight, a domestic bust up, and I think he knows deep down he's not at that level. And unfortunately, I don't think he ever will be. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, he wins a rematch. Hopefully, he fights for a world title or wins a world title. But for me, it's unfortunate. I like Chris Eubank Jr. I was gutted that he lost, but to me, he's just not at that level. I personally think it's harsh, but you look back at those words that Prince Nassim Hamid was saying about his finish. He should retire. He's got a point. Look, Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't punch hard enough, and he's going to get himself hurt against the world level fighters, in my opinion. So he doesn't have the best of skills. And I think let's talk about Roy Jones Jr. for a minute. What a fighter, one of the best fighters of all time, one of the best pundits in the world, and a legend of the game. But what has he accomplished as a trainer? Is it really working with Roy Jones Jr.? Not really. Should you have gone for someone more attacking, more offensive, like Joshua's going for? And has that kind of ruined his last few years? Chris Eubank Jr., number one, he's been quite inactive. Number two, the style doesn't really suit him. He's gone away from the combination. He doesn't throw the combinations anymore. He doesn't, throw those. He doesn't fight on the inside anymore. And that were a couple of his strengths. So for me, I don't know what he's going to do. He might need to change trainers, but he's not in his late 20s anymore. He's getting on a bit. He's 33, but like you said, he could be fresh. But for me, I think he's done. I'm out, guys. I'll be back with another video. Talking numbers on the phone while I'm getting brains. Switch